you're there for that very potent experience. You're so young, and you wrote so many classic sketches. What are a few of your favorites from that era, say 76 to 80, a couple that just resonated with people, but they also were personal favorites of yours?
Well, a lot of, in those days, almost everything was written by groups of people, because it was a small writing staff. So I think we had like maybe 9 writers, maybe, and so we'd write. So a lot of things were the product of 2 or 3 writers. Things that I wrote entirely by myself. That I began to develop a specialty that of foreign language pieces.
Yes.
I wrote a game show called ¿Quién es más macho?, which was
I remember that.
it started with a friend of mine who grew up in Colombia and who speaks just 6 languages fluently, but he used to tell me just the hilarious stories about American television shows from the 50s that he grew up watching, and their Spanish titles. I know. I mean, I love the Spanish language. It's actually a majestic sounding
Beautiful,
language.
gorgeous musical language.
I know it's much more. It's a much grander language than English. But there's something about American 50s stuff. So like, there was a show, that maybe you've heard about it. I'm sure no one in this room is old enough to have actually seen it. Now, I'm barely old enough, but Sea Hunt, starring Lloyd Bridges, who was the father of Jeff Bridges. And it was about a guy who was a scuba diver and the different things he does. This is the 1950s. And the Spanish title was Investigador Submarino. And then there was the fugitive. There was the fugitive with David Jansen, and my friend would go, El Fugitivo con David Jansen, and so and I'm trying to remember but there was a bunch of Los Intocables. The Untouchables.
Untouchables, yeah.
And Los Intocables con Roberto Stack. and so this shit just cracked me up. And so, and then the other thing was, we started talking about the concept of macho, and it began with, we were watching Welcome Back, Kotter. And I said to my friend, the guy who, Horshack, or Mr. Cotter, whatever that guy.
That was Barbarino.
Oh,
Mr.
Cotter. I was like too old for Welcome Back.
You were too old for Welcome Back, Kotter.
So maybe
and I'm
you guys
watching
can
it in
keep me
grade
honest,
school.
but there was someone whose character was sort of effeminate or something, wasn't there? Yeah, who is that guy?
Might have been Horshack.
Yeah, I think he was
Horshack.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, I just said...
Played by Ron Palillo.
I just said...
Oh, good.
I just said...
Thank you.
Thank you. It was like Ron Palillo no es muy macho. and that started this thing where we started getting into macho. So the idea was, it was a game show, and the questions, you won or lost by guessing correctly who was more macho of 2 different celebrities. And the whole point was just to do a sketch entirely in Spanish.
Yes.
So that Bill Murray played the host, and Gilda was one of the contestants, and Ricky Nelson was the host. But my favorite part of that piece, the part, when you look back at your old stuff, there's 2 kinds of comedy writers: those who crack up at everything they write and everything they think of. They can barely get through a pitch because they're laughing way harder than any of their listeners. And then there's some, and I'm of the other type, which is I never laugh at my own stuff because I'm too nervous, but maybe if I have distance on it years later, I go, come on, that was fucking funny. But it was the part of the show where now let's meet the contestants, so we've done a round of it was like I can't remember the Spanish words, puntas, ¿Quién es más macho? Fernando Lamas o Ricardo Montalban? Tienes más macho, llamas, Montalban. And it's like Ricky Nelson, Fernando Lamas? Oh, Ricardo Montalban es un poquito más macho. And so then it was like, now let's meet the contestants. So he goes up, and this is the thing that made me laugh. It was it's Gilda, and it's like, and she's fucking so brilliant. She was like that giggly kind of excited. And he's calming her down in Spanish, and he goes, and I forget the Spanish of it, but he says, what do you do? I'm a housewife, and he goes, ¿Qué profesión es tu esposo? What does your husband do? My husband, mi esposo exterminador. An exterminator. Goes, oh, verdad. Exterminador es profesión muy macho. and she goes, it's like, ¿Qué tipo insectos extermina? What kind of insects does he exterminate? Oh, cucarachas, mosquitos, todos los insectos.
I have to bring up, I can't go anywhere in this world without people stopping me and saying, I'm sorry about Norm Macdonald. And I always think in those moments, because he had so many amazing appearances on my show, and I think, well, the person who really needs to be hearing this is Jim Downey, because you were the one that pretty much holed up with Norm. You identified Norm as a brilliant guy very quickly. You wanted him to do Update, and then you and Norm really crafted that Update, which has become, I think, the iconic performance, recognized today as the iconic performance on Update of all time. Norm, you were working with Norm, and there's a quote here I just want to read back to you. What I did like about the way we approached Update was that it was akin to the punk movement, what the punk movement was for music, just stripped down. We did what we wanted. There was nothing there that was considered to be a form of cheating. We weren't cuddly. We weren't adorable. We weren't warm. We weren't going to do easy political jokes that played for clapter and let the audience know we were all on the same side. We were going to be mean and, to an extent, anarchists. And I think that's a perfect distillation of what
I don't know where I said that, but it's
Norm
basically, the thing with Norm, there were so many, first of all, he was really, really smart. Mm-hmm. He was very intelligent, and he had a great look. I always said about our Update, if you watched it with the sound off, mm-hmm. you couldn't be sure you were watching a comedy broadcast. It could have just been a sort of a low-tech news show, mm-hmm. Like OAN Network or something. It could have been, you know, and it didn't have like a lot of goofy kind of stuff. Yep. And Norm could speak. You could write fairly complicated jokes for him, as long as you had a good writer, good editor, making sure that it wasn't, you didn't give him too many words, because anyone's going to trip over if you create like a little minefield. But Norm could speak. He could speak beautifully. He could land things. He was clipped and precise. His older brother, Neil, is a CBC newscaster. Yeah. And so Norm had what we call the perfect straight line going for it in terms of his look. And he just had a great sensibility. Also, he hated easy laughs and what my colleague Seth Meyers, he coined the term clapter. I think he did. I always give him credit.
It was either him or Tina Fey. I can't remember. I'd hear different people. Or Oppenheimer. One of them came up with it.
But clapter is a perfect thing for that kind of like lazy, just finger in the wind kind of, sucking up to the audience.
Trump sucks.
Yeah.
And then you get applause.
We might even agree with that politically, but come on, they deserve more than that kind of shit. So just challenge them with stuff, even if it's going to maybe make them uncomfortable. Like, oh, I don't like laughing at that, but that's fucking funny, so I'm going to have to laugh, you know?
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to think of examples of what I'm talking about, but we would do, and of course the OJ jokes.
Well, here's the
were
thing.
a huge part of that.
So the OJ trial happens, and OJ, the murders, and then the trial, and it's, and this is where I really thought you and Norm Macdonald seize that moment, because you can have the right tool, but if you don't have the right moment, you don't have it. And I always think in any great movement, whether it's the Beatles in '64 or Sex Pistols in '76, you have to have the moment too. You just can't have, the two have to come together. The OJ trial happens, and you and Norm are writing these jokes that are so fucking fantastic. They're just razor blades. And Norm is the perfect person to deliver them. There's one you wrote, which I could try and do, but you might remember it exactly. But it's a picture came up of Johnny Cochran testifying.
Oh, yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
And OJ sitting next to him, and Cochran standing there, and he's holding the knit cap.
The knit cap.
The knit cap that was found at the scene. And Norm, in his Norm-esque way, says, well, you know, the defense had a bit of a bad day today at the defense trial when Johnny Cochran testified and held up the knit cap that was found at the scene of the murder. He was going on about the knit cap when suddenly he was interrupted by OJ, who said, hey, easy with that. That's my lucky stabbing cap.
Yeah.
And I remembered that being an ice bullet that went through my heart. It was so. Yeah,
that's my lucky stabbing hat.
Yeah, it's my lucky stabbing hat. And the thing is, and you know this too, he would say something like that, and I don't know where my camera is. It's there, I guess. That's my lucky stabbing hat.
Yeah.
And he would hold in this way that nobody does. Hold and hold and hold. And he would do it for a joke that killed, as that one did, but he'd also do it for a joke that he liked, or that you liked, or that you guys liked.
Yeah.
And if it got nothing,
it was like, it wasn't, some people said, you're punishing the audience for not liking the joke. No, we're giving them enough time to appreciate it. But, you know, it's funny you mentioned, I decided years later, because you have to have distance on this stuff to realize that a lot of, there was a through line to our OJ jokes, which was him, it was all cell phone stuff.
Yeah.
So that the standard OJ joke would be, so it would like, you know, like that one you just did. I think the way we got into it was like, OJ may not have helped his case when he blurted out.
Yeah.
You know,
of course.
hey, easy with that. That's my lucky stabbing hat. But there was one that was like, was O.J. Simpson high on drugs the night of the murders? Absolutely not, says a defiant O.J. And a simple test of any of his blood found at the crime scene will prove it. You know, and then there was one like
Indignation.
There was one. There was one when like O.J. Simpson had been criticized because the first Mother's Day after the murders, he played golf in Scotland.
Yeah,
and it's like this weekend, O.J. Simpson playing golf in Scotland was heavily criticized for missing the first Mother's Day and not spending the first Mother's Day since Nicole Brown Simpson's murder with his children. An angry Simpson responded, "Idiots, I didn't spend Mother's Day with my kids because I killed their mother." And so it's basically, but there was one, there was one joke, and by the way, it was Frank Sebastiano and Frank wrote a lot of great jokes for that segment, and he's the guy who contributed this joke structure. It'd be like several Navy warships have joined the search for an overturned thing in some of the most shark-infested waters on Earth. Also joining the search, the sharks. Yeah, and became like a.
That was there's a one that I remembered, which is the rock group, Better Than Ezra, or pop group. Better Than Ezra came in second, whatever.
This week, Rolling Stone released its list of the top 10 college acts on the summer tour. At number 1, Better Than Ezra. Number 2, Ezra.
He also had one that was. We could do these forever, but he was talking about kickboxing. And he was just like, and he's doing update. And he said, of course, popular is kickboxing, an incredible martial art that combines whatever the art of like punching, the martial arts of punching, karate with kicking. And he just stares. And because kicking on its own sounds like such a lame.
There were 2 more I wanted to bring up because I was Norm and I would spend like insane amounts of time obsessing over the precise wording of a joke.
Yeah.
And I remember there was one that I thought actually benefited from our kind of neurotic attention to detail. But it started off as a joke about Penthouse magazine had this cover story, which even if you didn't read Penthouse, you would see the cover on newsstands. And it was, this week, shocking photos, alien autopsy. Mm-hmm. This is Penthouse magazine. So they claim to be actual photos of an alien autopsy. So the joke we started out with, which I think would have been good enough, was this week Penthouse magazine released its much awaited photos of an alien autopsy. According to those who've seen the issue, the photos were sharp, clear, and easy to masturbate to. And so anyway, then I thought, like, you know what? That can be better. There's a better rhythm to that. So I first suggested that it should be, and quote, easy to masturbate to, because I just liked it for rhythm. And then I came up with one of my greatest contributions of the season, which was I added the word surprisingly, so that the joke became kind of different. So it was like, according to those who've seen the advanced copies, the photos are sharp, clear, and quote, surprisingly easy to masturbate to. You got this image of a guy going, at first I didn't think this would work, but God damn it, this is fucking hot.
This takes me back to, because you mentioned it, all this amazing work for the original Saturday Night Live. Then you go and you're the first head writer for the launch of Late Night with David Letterman.
Well, Merrill Marco was the very first head writer.
Yes.
I took over for Beryl, who was at the time Dave's live-in girlfriend. So you can imagine the pressure of and she desperately. I'd been a fan of Dave's morning show that he did in summer of 1980. That
Me
only
too.
lasts about 6 months.
That's the summer that I was a senior in high school, and I saw that, and it tore the top of my brain open. I just thought, what is this?
It was my mother who turned me onto that show, and because it was a daytime show, so it's the kind of thing I wouldn't have been exploring at that time of day anyway. And she said, "I think you'd really love this. David Letterman is marvelous. He's just so funny." And so I started, and I go, normally I don't go to my mom for movie recommendations or TV, but I said, "Fuck, this is really."
This takes me back to, because you mentioned it, all this amazing work for the original Saturday Night Live. Then you go and you're the first head writer for the launch of Late Night with David Letterman.
Well, Merrill Marco was the very first head writer. I took over for Beryl, who was at the time Dave's live-in girlfriend. So you can imagine the pressure of and she desperately. I'd been a fan of Dave's morning show that he did in summer of 1980. That only lasts about 6 months.
That's the summer that I was a senior in high school, and I saw that, and it tore the top of my brain open. I just thought, what is this?
It was my mother who turned me onto that show, and because it was a daytime show, so it's the kind of thing I wouldn't have been exploring at that time of day anyway. And she said, "I think you'd really love this. David Letterman is marvelous. He's just so funny." And so I started, and I go, normally I don't go to my mom for movie recommendations or TV, but I said, "Fuck, this is really funny." And so when he started his late night show, he made an inquiry about my availability, and I just wanted to meet him. So I knew I was committed to this film thing that ended up going nowhere. But so I went in and I said, like, and I had a package of stuff and from the show, right, and some other ideas, and they said, "Oh, we really love your stuff. We want you to be the head writer." And I said, I do want to do it, but can we like rain check it and do it a little later? And so anyway, but I recommended other writers like George Meyer,
one of the greats,
and Max Pross and Tom Gamble, and
that lineup was incredible.
Yeah, they found Andy Breckman on their own, and I recommended Steve O'Donnell, and so that was like the nucleus of that staff. That's a great fucking writing staff, and then I joined the show. Like, I remember, like, my 30th birthday fell the first week of our show, and I was like 3 hours late to my own birthday party because we were reading small town news and looking for like goofy things
that Dave could talk about.
But that was
I mean, I'm just thinking about to try and I don't know, just to be there for the beginning of SNL. And then to be there at pretty much the beginning of Late Night with David Letterman. And as you know, it's the beginning of these shows that's always, to me, the part where the real foundation gets laid. The sensibility is set. And I think that's true of so many of these shows. I think it was true for my show. And then you can evolve it beyond that. But it's really that beginning that's so crucial. And to have that experience, I mean, I remember that show was the show. I'd have given my bone marrow to work on that show. That was my dream, was to work on that show. Okay, and I applied and got very close and didn't get it. And
is that true?
Yeah,
I never knew
applied.
that.
And then it was just
that was after I was gone.
Yeah, after you were gone, and then. You're at SNL, and then I get hired at SNL. You know, my life has changed so much, Sona.
Has it?
Yeah, let me tell you how. I can just get all this stuff delivered right to my door. I mean, if you grew up when I did in the early 1920s, that was unheard of, you know? A kid in a cap had to, "Hey, boy," you know, and you'd say, "Yes, sir," and you'd have to say, toss him a coin. "Go get me that goose in the window." And he'd say, "Yes, sir, Mr. Scrooge." But that was like back then.
Yeah, but now it's not.
With so much of our world digitized and automated, why stick to old school mailing and shipping? If you mail or ship often, let Stamps.com do the hard part for you. Simply print postage and shipping labels right from your home or office. It's ready to go in minutes. No long lines or complicated setup required. It's the easiest, Sona.
It's the best.
Yeah, postage rates just increased again. Hello. Luckily, Stamps.com has the best discounts in the industry. Avoid the hassle and get started with Stamps.com today. Sign up at Stamps.com/Conan for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a free digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com/Conan. You kind of, you appreciated whatever thing I had, you appreciated it right away. And that meant the world to me. Like that was a huge deal for me. I think
anyone would have, in my position, I don't think you were like it wasn't like you were a diamond in the rough, I think anyone, you were like, yeah.
It was, what I remember is you told me, you identified something. You said, "Conan, you're very funny when you're back on your heels." I've always believed that God is in the details, that it's a drag and you sit there and you have to try and get it right. But I think Twain says the difference between the right word and almost the right word is the difference between, lightning and a lightning bug. It's just like that when you get the right wording, when you get it just right, it makes a difference. And I think the work that you and Norm did on Update is proof that you guys worked really hard. You got fired for it. because unfortunately the one of the people at the top at NBC was a good friend of OJ's.
Was his closest friend.
Was his closest friend, and you got fired for that. And but you've always thought that was a kind of a proud moment for you, because a lot of people reached out when that happened, and identified that was the wrong move.
I had so many. I mean, it was really. I have to say, I'm not the most sensible person in my personal life. You probably know me well enough, Conan, to have picked that up. But
I'll testify to that.
I didn't. I'd gotten divorced that year, basically. So I was sort of, I maybe I was feeling kind of, it's kind of ornery and like, but certainly, and also like with a little less responsibility. Norm, I know, took it much harder than I did. I sort of looked at it philosophically and said, you know what? It's like, the A.E. Housman poem, To an Athlete Dying Young, before fame outran the man, kind of thing. And if that's, maybe I have that backwards too, but anyway, we were yanked off, and maybe that's better than risking that where you peak and then it's downhill.
You stick around too long.
Yeah. And we didn't we weren't put in that position of having to, to make that decision. It was made for us. But I know that Norm, the story about that, I know you know this story, but I think people who are fans of Norm deserve to know this about him. The network went to Norm and said, we want to get rid of Jim Downey. And we just want you to know you're cool with that, right? He said, no, if you can't fire him. If you fire him, I quit. And they go, that's crazy. I mean, he's not helping you, the segment's too mean or whatever. And he said, well, no, I'm not doing it without him. And he never told me that. And I didn't hear that for years. I heard it from some network executives. And and part of everything else, if that had been me, that would have been, you bet Norm would have heard, You
would have talked about it. Yeah,
of course. I mean, come on.
Norm didn't, I mean, he was very stoic, old world. He came from a different century.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I remembered when he died, you called me and you said, you were mad at me initially. You said, I can't believe you didn't tell me, Conan. And I said, I didn't know. None of us knew. Laurie Joe knew.
And Mark Gervitz, his manager, knew.
Well, Gervitz knows everything.
His mother and his son knew.
Yeah.
And his brother. So outside of family, it was like 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't, and I know why he didn't. I mean, I've been told, and it made perfect sense, so I believe it, that he just didn't want it to ever be about anything but being funny.
Yep.
He didn't want to be brave or fighting the good fight, or, he didn't want to do heartwarming stuff. And he just wanted to be, but I was a little hurt that he didn't tell me. But I mean, I talked to him, I guess, I know you may have talked to him more recently than I'd had, but I talked to him certainly the summer of 2021, August.
We were trying to get him on my last late night show, which was 2 years, not long before he passed. And we were trying really hard to get him to be, because I wanted nothing more than him to be one of the last guests. And he was considering it, but then wouldn't do it. And then, and I think he knew that he didn't.
He also didn't. He knew that his appearance was kind of changing, and he didn't want to.
Yeah.
But I know this is shifting from one kind of bravery to another, but one of my proudest moments was a joke we did, and I think it was a Frank joke, Frank Sebastiano, but it was. There's a certain type of annoying fuck, exactly what we're talking about, the kiss ass stuff. But it was a joke where we took the world's most innocuous kind of C-section news story, and it was we would clip a real news story and show it on the monitor so that the audience knew this is a real thing. We didn't make it up, and we did that for most of our things, and so the story was like, Denver City Council approves traffic light for, Martin Avenue. And so And so it goes to Norm. It's like, this week, the Denver City Council finally, on its third attempt, voted funds for a new traffic light on Martin Avenue. Then he turns dramatically to another camera and goes, maybe they would have voted the funding earlier if instead of a traffic light, it was for rich white men. and then we bring up a lower third. Applaud now. But that's the kind of stuff that there's not really a great place to laugh in that joke.
Right.
That's a thing that, like, Norm, we would do our run through, like, we would work on the jokes a bit during the week, but mainly Friday night. And that's when especially I would do a lot of rewriting and refining, and then I'd run through stuff with Norm. And then Saturday, we do a run through, and then we're always screaming. We're always kind of late, getting in the studio really late because they were, come on, guys, we're losing time. So we'd come down, do our run through, and we'd make a few kind of changes, maybe think of some things for Norm to add. And then we'd have a dress. And then my attitude with Lorne Michaels, the producer, the big guy, was always like, tell us how long you want the segment to be. We're like, because we're the most easily bologna sliced segment, you know? And my attitude, and Norm kind of agreed, it's like, Norm wanted he didn't want to feel that, like, we had to have we were entitled to a certain amount of the show. But I always argued, like, anything, if we're cutting lean, we're in good shape, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, sure, we'll always cut the fat. Everyone should do that. But if we also have to give up something we don't want to give up, it's probably a good indication.
It's
and anyway, if it's something, a lot of our stuff can be done next week.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, we would do 6-minute updates. I think we did a 5-minute. They do like 12-minute updates now. You know, and they did them before us. And Norm, I will say this: Norm was not crazy about features.
Yeah.
He wasn't crazy about having other people on the segment. You know, always, and sometimes I had to, like, get him to be more involved with the guests.
Yeah.
But Seth Meyers was the best ever at interacting with. I mean, he was great at that. I wish Norm had been a little more playful like that.
I always took away from you, and I think about, you're in my head a lot over the years that I've been writing and all the years that I've been doing things. And you're surprisingly easy to masturbate to. No, you're but you're also in my head for another reason. No, you're in my head because there's an ethic that I got from you, and I also got from Robert Smigel, and I try to pick from the best, which is, if I can lose it, yes, trim the fat, but also sometimes cut into the muscle, like and lose, if you're losing something for time that you really love, but you love that other stuff more, you're in great territory, and this thing is really going to fly.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great...
I remembered, by the way, the reason I brought all that stuff up. It's because...
I was just killing time to remember.
Norm was the guy who, you know, and performers, because you're a hybrid, you know, performers really don't want to give up stuff that got a huge laugh ever.
Mm-hmm.
Norm would totally throw out something if he came to suspect it was not the kind of laugh we wanted. Mm-hmm. And by the way, that doesn't mean like it was dirty or something. If it was like cheap or easy or whatever. And the thing is, you could give Norm a choice of, like, okay, this is absolutely guaranteed to kill. It'll get a mini standing ovation, but it's hacky and we both know it. This is guaranteed to die. I promise you we'll get, you know, death camp silence. But it's fucking brilliant. Norm would unhesitatingly go for the silence. You know, but I would go, yeah, I would too, but I'm not the guy out there.
Yeah.
He is. And I always fucking love that about him. He would never reject something because it's funny, but they're going to laugh, you know. And I had fights with people that you and I both respect who just, oh man, it killed. You go, oh, yeah, but come on, man.
Hi, my name is Jesse Eisenberg, and I feel unconflicted, maybe for the first time in my life, about something, but in this case, about being Conan O'Brien's friend.
That's so sweet.
Yes,
you're a man who's filled with conflicts. You're a walking bag of conflicting feelings, right?
And yet somehow It's floated away during this moment.
This is the only true happy moment you've had in your life.
Yes, this is my nirvana. And as you can see from my posture, it's a miserable nirvana.
It's a miserable nirvana, but this is the best it gets for you, Jesse.
That's true.
And when you leave this podcast, it's back to the pit of misery.
But I know you do many of these shows, and I'm hoping to get back here one day.
Oh, I don't think so.
I'm going to chase this dragon.
I'm going to quickly recap that I met you many, many, many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You did The Squid and the Whale. I think it was the first time I met you.
Yeah.
You must have been, how old were you then?
I was 21.
21 years old.
Yeah.
And I just adored you immediately, I think. And then I've mentioned this before, but several days later, one of the loveliest handwritten notes I've ever received showed up. I've mentioned this last time, but, and I thought, this guy's different. There's something different about this person. He's oozing with like character and gentility in this kind of old world way. And then you've gone on and you've had this extraordinary career.
Thank you.
And I'm just so happy for you.
Thank you so much.
And I feel like, just to pat myself on the back, I feel like I called it.
Oh, okay.
This is about me.
I thought you were going to say you did it, but you called it like you knew it was
This isn't about, this is what I'm really good at, pretending it's about, Jesse.
Right.
Yeah.
But then it's about me.
Okay.
I called it.
Yes.
That's right.
Okay.
I called it.
And me, I'm just the horse.
Bluebell came in first.
But I will say, just to that point, I remember I grew up obsessed with you to the point where literally my mom would sneak out after my dad fell asleep to go into my bedroom to watch your show with me. And
so your dad's not a fan.
Yeah, no.
This is how my mind works.
That's what you got from that.
Why did he hate me?
Yeah. Huh. Well, my new worst enemy, Barry Eisenberg of East Brunswick, New Jersey. And
you know what's even sicker? My immediate thought is, he saw the real me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I feel. But anyway.
I guess he's the only one that truly knows. But anyway, after we did the segment on your show, you leaned over to me and you said, "You seem like such a nice person." And I remember it was so odd because that doesn't seem like one of the compliments you get in the entertainment industry.
Right.
It doesn't seem like one of the boxes you might check. You're a nice person. It gets you nowhere.
Oh, it does. I mean, it means a lot to me. And and you've gone on, and I'll mention this up front, and we'll talk. There's so much I want to talk about, and we're going to get to this film you made, which I saw. Let's take it off. You wrote, directed, you co-star in it with Kieran Culkin and this extraordinary cast.
Yeah.
You made this film and it's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you
and
so
it's
much.
got people ranting and raving in a good way.
Yeah.
I've had people ranting and raving in not a good way. It's called A Real Pain, and we'll talk about that. But what was special for me was to watch this movie and see that, oh, you are a consummate artist. You've made this beautiful thing with such aplomb, and it will endure. And I think I always have this connection with you from that time that you sent me that note, and I had that nice first meeting with you. And then here you are all these years later, and you're doing extraordinary work, and I'm just so happy for you.
That is so nice of you to say. Thank you so much. Do you ever root for mean people?
It's funny. Occasionally.
Yeah.
Stalin did a lot of bad stuff.
Right.
No. But I was sometimes I'd be like, come on, you can do it, Stalin. You can turn this around.
And you were really young at the time.
I'm older than people think.
Sure.
I was born in 1911. Do the math. I can separate.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who do excellent work and are not good people. And I do believe in separating the two.
Yeah,
you
sure.
are a man who's, I think, has real character, and you do exceptional work. I like it when the two come together, but they don't have to.
Got it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
and
of course.
how many artists can you see, whose work is hanging on the wall, and you later learn, or amazing athletes who were absolutely deplorable human beings, but
Right.
I still applaud their athleticism.
Of course, perhaps even more so because you don't want them to hurt you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, Stalin's been dead a long time, and I still talk him up.
Yeah.
I think he could still get me.
Just in
Talk about him
case.
a
He could
lot.
still get me. we probably have a few things in common. I grew up with my share of anxiety and hated going to school. It was only years later that I realized I just really didn't want to leave home. I didn't want to leave my house, but I still to this day can remember the carpool ride from my house on Kennard Road to the Michael Driscoll School, and every second thinking, okay, we're not there yet. Just filled with that kind of like your mouth tastes like aluminum. You have so much anxiety.
Yes.
And I've later thought, well, I hate to say it, but it probably contributed some things to me.
I know.
And I know that you've have this struggle too.
Yeah.
And I've had many therapists and many people tell me, well, you didn't need that. You'd have been, you didn't, and I don't trust them.
No,
it's like Dumbo's feather. I think I needed that. I don't know where you come down on all this.
The exact same kind of confusion as you do, and the exact same conversations with therapists as you've had. I always think, there was like maybe a parallel universe version of me that was kind of happy and is an accountant. And so, but the painful thing is the thing that person told you is, no, you didn't need that. And that's even worse, because then it was just for nothing.
It was a waste of time.
I just feel like we got into jobs that no one was asking us ever to do. Like no one wanted you to host a TV show. No one asked me to be an actor. They still retroactively trying to.
Still, people are trying to can we delete that 30 years of work? No, but it is funny. You're right. It was more and more, I think, I'm here out of a weird compulsion that I don't have a control over. And I think about you and your anxiety, and you are not the typical, hey, put that light on me.
Right, exactly.
Because I'm ready to shine. See, I've got a song for you. But something pushed this young, anxious kid. I mean, I know that you were so anxious as a child getting on the bus to go to school. You would cry.
That's right.
And they had to kind of come up. Well, you tell me.
Yeah. So no, I would cry. Well, I cried every day when I got to school. But there was like they didn't want me to cry on the bus. The bus driver did not want me to cry because I guess it was probably dangerous for me to be weeping in the back of a huge moving vehicle. But basically,
I don't see why that's a danger. I'm trying to do the math, and I don't see how it affects the operation of the vehicle. Oh no, it could. Yeah, I could see leak down into the transmission.
I would use her sleeve as a tissue. But basically, so no, right. So if so she set up this system where if I didn't cry every day until Friday, on Friday she would give out Tootsie Roll Pops to all the kids on the bus if I made it through the week without crying on the bus. And so you would hear on Fridays from down the street, windows open on the bus, "Don't cry, Jesse. Don't cry, Jesse."
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh my
But wait a minute,
God.
this is so sick. It's not like the treat's just for you, it's everyone else, which is creating this group thing.
Yes.
That's evil.
It's the equivalent of if you don't do all the push-ups, everybody in this room has to do 10 more.
That's insane.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And giving me ideas.
No.
on how to run a podcast company. But oh my God, that is wrong / kind of ingenious.
Yeah. It's all that stuff. Listen, that was her wound, and now she's an artist too, that bus driver.
And an amazing athlete.
Yes, exactly. And that was her will to power. But I was a miserable kid with good parents. I feel uncomfortable saying this in public because I don't want to demonize my well-meaning good parent and good parents. Yeah, I don't know. I was just wired to be absolutely miserable. And performing for me was kind of like an outlet, but not like an outlet like I feel myself here. It was more just an outlet to literally just get out of school. Like if I got into a show, it meant I could leave early from school on various days and rehearse and be with adults, which was the only place at the time I felt comfortable.
You have this great quote that I read, which is, "When playing a role, I would feel more comfortable as you're given a prescribed way of behaving."
Yeah.
And I thought I understand someone's telling you all the anxiety you might have, Jesse, about what am I supposed to say or do in this one particular situation.
Right.
But if you're in The Seagull, you know, like, no, I'm supposed to enter and then I'm supposed to leave and shoot myself. Like,
right, exactly.
This is what I'm supposed to do.
Exactly.
And there's a calm that might come with that.
Yeah, exactly. And not only a calm, but like catharsis, because the characters are emotional. And it's like the thing I feel all the time bubbling under my surface, but is inappropriate to do in public, you know, to have like an emotion or, you know, and also it's a burden on other people, of course. So I don't emote in public, but like to have that catharsis, you know, is really helpful.
It's funny because you weren't just drawn to acting, specifically musical theater, which also feels like you went to the other end of the spectrum for someone who's very nervous and shy and inward looking. And now I've been around show business long enough to see it I've seen it a million times.
Yeah.
But you jumped to musical theater.
Well, that was like the thing that was like available. Like they weren't doing the Seagull in, you know, community theater, New Jersey, you know.
They were doing the musical version of it.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got to go and commit suicide.
Everybody had jazz wings. You know, so that's just like what was happening in children's theater at the time where I lived. You know, now I see a wonderful chasm between me and musical theater. In terms of like performance style, that's not where I would shine these days.
It's funny because now I'm having this other like flashback memory of, I don't know if you remember this, Sona, but when we were doing the shows during COVID, I think you were one of the first people.
Yes, that's right.
You may have been the first guest I talked to. COVID hit, all the shows shut down. Then we all came back, I think, on the same day, and we were doing virtual interviews, Zoom interviews. And I think everyone else really had their shit together and they were talking to guests who were in their home, but with state-of-the-art Zoom. Course. And I was very excited that you were going to be like the first guest back. Oh, great. We got Jesse Eisenberg. This is going to be great. And you and your family had gotten into a van and you were just driving across America, I think to try and escape COVID in a van in America, which doesn't work, by the way. But I remembered you having possibly the worst Zoom signal I've ever seen. And this was on television. You could probably look it up and see it. Yeah. But it looks like it looks like it's 1962 and I'm talking to a Russian cosmonaut who's in space.
Exactly.
Yuri Gagarin, how are you? And then it would go out and then you'd come back in again. Yeah. And occasionally I could see, you know, like your family in the background trying to swat away COVID. And there was a coyote. Exactly right. It was craziness.
Yes. Wow. Yes, exactly. You know, I was like at a KOA, like a campsite, you know, where we stayed overnight. Right. And the KOA is known for a lot of things, but not the Wi-Fi. So it was pretty bad. Yeah. Sorry about all that.
Oh, no. Hey, I'm remembering it.
Yeah.
What I've remembered is those are the things I remember in show business. There have been many, you know, flawless, perfectly executed Technicolor interviews that I'll never remember. Yeah. But I just remember you in a baseball cap and your family trying to outrun a virus in a van.
Yeah. Long story short, it caught up with us.
Caught up with a lot of us. Yeah.
Ultimately.
Yeah. The only one who didn't get it, Sona, who ate garlic, right?
Yes, I ate garlic. Lots of garlic, lots of lemon. Yeah. But I did eventually get it.
Right.
So even garlic can't outrun COVID.
Wow, not even the root. Garlic.
Not even the root. I know. Wow. But you know, Gourley, who's not here, has never had it yet.
Really?
Yeah, he's never had it.
Maybe he's out with COVID right now.
He could be. And Eduardo never had it up until like a month ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy?
Are there people who are immune to it? Like, actually? Like,
I have no idea.
I thought I was a mutant.
Of course you must have. And you were around people, right, who of course had
it. He got real cocky about it. He was always shouting, "COVID can never get me."
Yeah.
Remember?
That's right.
And if someone had COVID, he would grab them and open mouth kiss them.
Right.
Exactly. He got me too'd a couple of times for that.
That's right. Sure,
and then finally, you ordered a hamburger and you said, "Put a little extra COVID on it." And you finally caught it.
Got it. So it ultimately was your fault.
His own fault. Yeah. In my stories, it's always the other person.
Right, put a little extra COVID on it.
Yeah. Hey, that's not I said I wanted COVID. I want 2 scoops.
Make it real COVID-y.
I would love to tell a Norm story. Since
Yeah.
You really moved me at the memorial, and I love Norm. He was when I was a very, very beginning comedian, my first real legit road gig was emceeing his 7 or 8 shows at Catch a Rising Star in Princeton. This would have been about like 90, 91. Norm was not famous. He was this sort of like hot young comic coming out of Canada. And he wasn't famous here. He hadn't done Letterman. He hadn't done really much here. And it was a big gig for me. And I'm hosting Norm shows. And this is when Andrew Dice Clay was the #1 comic in the world. And Norm was so different than that.
Yes. Yeah.
But comedy was hot, so the club was packed every night. And Norm had this weird accent, and his jokes were long, and they were often absurd. And the crowd was. It's 7 shows. He probably bombed 3 of them.
Yeah.
And he killed the other 4. They either got him, they either loved him or they hated him. And when he killed, we'd go backstage and we would play poker until the next show. When he bombed, inexplicably, he would go to the exit and say goodbye to every single person. I think to entertain me. I don't know if he just loved the awkwardness of it, or he was always one step ahead of me, one step ahead of his fans, the industry. I wish he had been he wanted to tell the most honest, the most brutally funny joke, no matter what the consequences. I would play poker with him later on when he was at SNL. He would have the guys over on Mondays or whatever it was, Sundays, whenever there was no one up there, and we'd play poker. And he liked to play poker there because he had the long table and he could watch 5 TVs, so he could gamble on football while playing poker and while holding court. And it was so much fun for me. And then he said, come back Saturday, come hang out at the show. So this is an example of Norm just not giving a flying fuck about anybody. Like, he just wanted to make people laugh no matter what the consequences. And Rosie O'Donnell was the host of the show that week, guest host, and height of her fame with Penny Marshall. They were like this famous team, and they'd done a big movie together. And Penny by now is like a big movie director. And I'm in that hallway, where the pages are, where the desk is, and everybody kind of, congregates in that area. It's crowded. It's 10 minutes to showtime, and I'm standing there with Norm and a bunch of writers and pages and whoever else and our guests, and Penny comes in with a baseball hat and sunglasses, head down, just kind of big timing everybody, just cutting through the crowd, celebrity style, and Norm starts going, he starts pointing at her and screaming, Laverne! 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 A month later, I think he was fired for telling OJ jokes. But it really shows that he just wanted to tell the best jokes. I wish he was so brutally honest about his health. We would have gotten to say goodbye to him.
I know.
Proper
I
send-off.
think that bothered a lot of us, and I think a lot of us assumed everyone knew. When it happened, I thought, oh, Jesus, he didn't tell me, but I guess I would assume you would know. We all assumed everyone else knew, and then it turned out that nobody knew. His family knew, and Lori Jo knew, but that was he didn't want people to know. That's what he wanted, so I guess you have to honor that.
I get it. I had frickin' a skin condition I didn't want anyone to know. Like, anything that makes you think the audience might feel sorry or sympathy and not think you're just funny.
Yeah.
Anything that undercuts the comedy, you don't want the audience to know. So I get it.
You touched on the fact that we've lost Bob Saget, Gilbert Gottfried, Norm Macdonald, all in a relatively short period of time.
Yeah.
It almost feels like a conspiracy. I mean, these really uniquely talented people. You were wonderful at the Norm tribute that the Netflix festival had. That was great. Oh, thanks.
I hosted that memorial. It was a really special afternoon.
It was, but it does. I've been thinking about it lately because I knew Norm better. I think I knew Gilbert. Gilbert used to do tons of bits for us over the years, And what I remember about Gilbert was he was the most, the difference between backstage Gilbert and on-air Gilbert was the largest difference I think I've seen in a performer. He was so quiet. He just wanted to take food from the craft services table, put it in his pockets and get it home to his rent-controlled apartment. Like that's
So
what he
odd.
mostly wanted to do.
So odd.
But he was so, he.
I loved him.
But he's so sweet, so
loved
sweet.
him.
And he was one of the first, when I first got out of school and was in New York, I went to a comedy club, and I barely knew who he was. And the crowd was, they said, ladies and gentlemen, Gilbert Gottfried. And he came out on stage and he went, thank you, thank you. Please, please, no, thank you. Please, it's too much. Sit, thank you. And then he kept doing that for maybe 11 minutes. And people at my table were getting, I didn't know them, I was just sitting in, but people at my table were getting mad. They were getting mad. And then there's silence, and he's going, I beg of you, please, it's too much. How can I reciprocate? And he kept going, and I was dying. My jaw fell off. I was crying. And then, of course, he got the crowd back again, but I thought that the balls on that guy to do that.
He was one of a kind. Talk about fearless. I spoke at his funeral, and one thing that I said that day that, he did this joke on my Netflix Bumping Mike special about skull fucking his dead grandma. So now I'm at his funeral.
That old chestnut.
Now I'm at his funeral, and I'm looking at his wife, and he has kids, a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old, and he had this whole other side to him.
Yeah.
He was a great dad, and I love his kids. I took his son to see Billy Crystal's amazing new musical the other day. And I know that both sides of Gilbert. So here I am at his funeral, and I'm talking about how Gilbert's comedy is fearless and subversive, but yet he was so lovable, he could get us to laugh at a joke about skull fucking a dead person. Then I looked at his coffin and said, not so funny now, huh, Gilbert?
How'd that go over?
Well, we buried him in a soundproof coffin just in case, because he was very loud. And a wonderful, wonderful person, a unique person, a one-of-a-kind type of individual, and he will be missed.
Can I just take a second to share my notes for this this episode of the podcast?
Yes. Perfection, erotic, ideal.
Yep.
Wow.
That was just what
Wow.
today was.
There we
That
go.
really was.
Yeah, I got to. We should do. I have. We have many more hours of.
You have
fun
to come.
have.
You have to come back because my time with you is serious. I'm going to be sincere, and it's hard for me to do that. But you're one of my favorite people. You really are.
You too, me.
And I just absolutely love talking to you. And it is whenever we're together, whether it's been on the show or this podcast, it is unlike any other experience I have, and it means a lot to me. And so when I heard that you were going to come in and inaugurate our new studio, my head blew up. It exploded.
Well, me too. I've been looking forward to this terrifically, and these are my favorite. These are peak experiences for me. And people come up to me on the street anecdotally and say, "You and Conan, you and Conan, you and Conan."
See, we got to do something.
They do. Well, I think so too.
I've been screen tested, and apparently it's not good. It won't be a film, but maybe an animated project. Something where my face is mostly hidden.
And you're singing authentically a lot. I like that. And I just saw a documentary about, or some kind of thing about talk show, the history of talk shows and the current.
Yeah.
Did you see this one? There are many of them.
I don't watch those.
I
can't
love
watch
them all.
Yeah.
And this one particularly said, here's why amongst the current crop in the last few decades, Conan O'Brien reigns supreme. He's cracked the code, and why he's at the pinnacle of what this needs to be right now,
Whoa.
et cetera, et cetera.
Oh.
Yep.
Well,
Are
Yep.
you,
I
are you
saw it, and
uncomfortable?
no, I'm not uncomfortable.
Okay.
I just don't believe that exists.
They're talking about this Conan
No,
O'Brien?
he makes a, and he makes a, and
It's
he
an
tells you
Irish.
why.
It's an Irish Conan O'Brien.
This guy makes a very good case for exactly why. It's a very erudite and.
There is a guy named Conrad O'Ryan in Dublin who's huge. and he's really cracked the code.
That's very cool.
Well,
That's
it's
very
true.
nice.
It's
That's
true.
nice.
It's true.
Well, Jeff,
and you all together. I mean, I'm really starstruck with
nice.
all of you.
Oh, come on.
Stop it.
Movsesian.
Jeff
Oh,
Goldblum.
Movsesian.
You pronounced my name right.
Movsesian. There should be a perfume, not obsession, but Movsesian. I'm wearing the new Movsesian.
Oh my God, it's gonna smell like garlic.
yeah, I was going to say.
Ooh. And gourley.
And
And
lamb.
gourley. Is it, how do you say, what's that vowel exactly? Is it
Gore.
gore? Like
Gourley.
gore, like
Yeah.
gore.
Gourley.
Gourley.
Yeah, although when I went to Ireland, they said it's girly.
Ah, girly.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were just saying, you seem kind of girly.
Yeah, I think so.
You seem girly
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah. I said it's girly. He goes, no, it's girly.
Oh, trust me. We
did,
saw you walking down the street, and it was girly.
Well, you three have made me very, very happy for many hours, and we'll continue to be.
You have delighted
That's
us, and you're
huge.
coming back.
I
for
want
us.
you. I want you, along with, I've seen every single Schlansky.
Oh my God!
Every single Schlansky. Really? Really?
No,
I laugh out
I
loud
do too.
over and over again. I
it's
see them
insane.
multiple times.
No, and it's all true. That's the one thing. I've been in the darkest regions, darkest, most remote corners of the world, and people will literally come out from behind
I
a
know.
rock and say, Schlansky,
Yeah.
is he being real?
I
And
know.
I'll go, yes, he's being
I
real. And then
know.
they go back under the rock.
You're never funnier when he's driving you mad. It's just great.
Oh,
great,
my God.
Great.
Well, we
anyway,
gotta get it back.
I
You
could
know
go-
what?
I could go on.
Mr. Goldblum, Mr.
Sir.
Jeff Goldblum, you're the finest man that ever lived.
Conan Christopher O'Brien.
Oh, my God.
Yes, you are the finest man that's ever lived.
No,
All
you're
right.
better.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're better.
I'm taking you to a Sizzler. We're going.
Let's go. Langustino. By the way, I'm such big fans of yours. I've been watching a lot of, not just for my conscientious research purposes, but just for my own entertainment. Often I go to YouTube and I've seen hours and hours and hours of your content.
Foolishness, I like to call it.
Everything.
Oh, that's nice. I love to think
love
of
it
you
all.
out there
So
watching
exciting.
it.
I really am. So I know.
You know what I think
a
is
lot about
something
you.
that makes me very happy is that none of our comedy was ever really about anything.
No, that's for
so
sure.
you can see something from 25 years ago and it doesn't relate to any specific topical thing in the news. And other than the fact that my head hasn't rotted yet in those clips, people can laugh at them all over again, which makes me happy. You put on your specs.
He's examining your
are you
rotting
examining
head.
my
Yeah,
rotting
yeah.
head?
Now that you brought it up, you all look great. Just great.
Well, please, you can tell that this. I have one of those Irish heads that bloats as it gets older.
You've said, I know.
No, this is true. You
Still
leave a gourd in the sun long enough, and then
Get a Conan.
and then winter comes, and you have yourself a Conan. That's what happens over time. But I will say this: I love talking to you because you're staring at me and you're examining
I
every.
like your glasses. I like your glasses.
You know
and
why
I know
I-
why.
you know why I
last
like-
we had a conversation. I think I
Yes.
introduced you to these.
You did.
This
Now
company,
I
yeah.
will admit freely
That's a
that
nice
my
thing.
style guru and my lifestyle guru is Mr. Jeff Goldblum.
How can it not be?
And I'll tell
Yeah.
you why. He is a tall, good-looking drink of water. And whenever he's wearing something, I think, well, wait a minute. We have somewhat similar. Well, hold on.
Okay.
Sona's about to really correct me. Let's say Jeff had
you're
been in
right.
an accident at some point. Then Jeff and I would be very similar. That's all I'm saying.
You guys have very different vibes.
Well, no, I'm not talking about the vibes. I'm
Okay.
talking just about when he is a tall man and he knows how to dress.
Right.
And I love, so during commercial breaks, often when he was on the show, people always wonder, what do you talk about with people? I can always tell you what I'm talking about with Jeff in
Yeah.
a commercial break. I go right to, oh my God, those shoes. And, I have large feet and you have large feet. And he'll say, oh my boy. Oh, yes. Well, and then, so I remembered once you came out and you were wearing these wonderful glasses that you really carried off well. And I said, I must wear those glasses.
Yeah.
And I asked you, and you acted as if you were telling me where the secret ring was that would unlock the universe. You went, oh my boy. Oh, yes. Jacques Marie. What is it? Limage?
Jacques-Marie Mage, yeah.
Yeah. Jacques-Marie Mage. Oh, and he said, oh, my boy, I'll call ahead. And then you described going downtown, and there's a secret knock, and a corridor, and a passageway. And sure enough, They're the greatest glasses.
Did you go? How'd you get them? Did you go to see?
I went with Sona.
Yeah.
Sona came
You went
with
to
me.
Jerome to that
Yes.
studio. Oh yeah,
Yes.
and I'm sure he greeted you and met you and
Oh,
showed
he
you
was
everything.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Everybody was wonderful.
But
Yeah,
I mean, I have done this several times. You once, we were doing something together that was not my project and not your project. We were recording something
I
together.
remember the day.
And
I do.
And you walked in, and I could never find jeans. I have a very unusual build, I'll say. And
oh, come on.
Anyway,
What the
so
sound?
Was that
sorry.
a nocturnal
What's your
emission?
inseam? What's your leg? We have a long leg. You have a fine leg, I think. What's your inseam?
I have a very long leg.
We'll say it together. Ready? Here's our inseam. 1, 2, 3. 36.
I'm a 36.
I'm a
What just
36.
Yeah, what?
Is it
Yeah,
really?
why did
Well, no,
You said you were
oh.
30.
Well, I was afraid. I
Oh.
was afraid to go. I have a
36?
I have a long inseam, and so I
Long.
So anyway, I see this gentleman come in, and he's wearing these amazing jeans, and I said, "Oh my God, Jeff, where'd you get those jeans?" He went, "Oh my boy."
I've never
my
said, "Oh my boy."
Oh my
I've
boy!
never said it.
Oh, good. Oh, and he went, "Oh my boy, you simply must." And then you said, I'll never forget. You said, "The Schaefer Garment Hotel."
That's right.
What? And it's
Yeah,
this
Robert
place.
Schaefer.
Yeah. You
Very
said,
good.
"Oh, the Schaefer Garment Hotel." And I go there, and you said, just go. So I go, and of course, it's the coolest people in the world, and they have
they're
like an
cool.
old denim machine.
Yeah.
And
It's like the John
amazing.
Wick Hotel, but for clothes.
yes, it is. It's the John Wick Hotel, except just for jeans.
Oh my.
And how about the hat maker in the back?
There's a guy there wearing like Slash's hat, and he's like, "I'll make you one of these." And I went, "Well, I don't know if I can carry that off." There's a dog that's in the store.
Yeah, that's right. Do you know who I ran into there once? I was with Emily. We went there to pick up a pair of jeans or a hat or something, and it was just us and Bob Dylan.
Oh my God!
Yes, because he got his hats from that guy.
Oh.
I saw him out of the corner of my eye. I had really important business. I was talking about hat, and he came in, and before I could say anything to him, he left. But I think Emily, I don't know if she said anything
Wait,
either.
you didn't go up to him?
No. I wish I had. Bob
I think
Dylan.
I mean, I've told this before, but I met him once.
Oh.
I got pushed to the front of I went to see some concert of his, and I was backstage, and someone pushed me to the front of a line, and there he was, the great Bob Dylan. It's my one chance to meet him. And he all this conversation stopped, and Bob Dylan looked at me and he went, "I know you from the TV."
I've heard that's
Oh.
right.
It's
right.
true.
Yeah.
It's true.
you
The
from the
TV.
TV.
He said, "I know you from the TV." And just then, the other person backstage was Vice President Al Gore. And so all I hear is, "I know you from the TV." And then I heard, Conan, it's me, Al Gore. And I'm like,
What
what?
is this event?
And I go, what? We're all there for a concert to see Bob Dylan perform. And he goes like, "I love rock and roll," and suddenly he's talking to me, and I see Bob Dylan scuttle away. I was cock-blocked with Bob Dylan by Vice President Al Gore. That's a true story.
If you had told me that wasn't a true story, but that was a dream you had last night, it would be
Yes.
just as credible.
Yeah, and then trust me, I wanted to detach Gore's tongue from his body to get him to stop yapping at me. No, I'm sorry. All due respect to the former vice president and, of course, a leading figure in climate prevention change.
Just another nocturnal emission happening.
Yeah. You know what? He does this to me. Jeff Goldblum does this to me.
You're not wrong.
He
Yeah.
unmans me.
Yeah. You're just bewitching, and this is joyous.
Yes.
I'm going to take these things. I'm going to try that.
Look at that. I just matched you.
Huh? What do you think, man? Now,
You got the
this
best.
is-
You know what?
I'll keep coming up to the
know what?
mic.
Can I
I
say
love
something?
my mic.
Fuck these things.
Yeah.
Let's take these off. Sona, do it.
Oh, I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
too
do
scared. I'm
it.
too scared.
No, put it back. Hey, check me on this. Who's got better hair than this man? You're just,
The two of you.
Yo,
though.
no, you. Come
No.
on.
Mine is more of a
You.
caricature. You have.
No,
That's
you.
fantastic. That's fantastic.
Incredible.
And my hair heroes, you're one of them. The other was Jack Lord in Hawaii Five-0.
Oh, yes, Jack.
Remember, he had
Lord.
that big sweep.
Very nice.
And
yeah.
then my heart was crushed because I found out on this podcast Remember who we were talking to who did a scene with him as who was a child actor at the time? Was it
Kurt
Russell?
Who himself has amazing hair.
Yeah, who himself has amazing hair. But Kurt Russell's talking to me and went, yeah, I was a kid actor and I did a Hawaii Five-0 and they were doing my shot, so the camera wasn't on Jack Lord, and he took his hair off. And I said, what do you mean he took his fucking hair off? And he said, well, it was a piece. And I went, I didn't know it was a piece.
Well,
did you know?
Go ahead and take yours off.
No. I'm looking at you now. We're talking hair, and I'm thinking my favorite haircut was shaved head, bald.
Oh,
And
really?
I'm looking at your head, and I said, this man would look wonderful with a bald head.
Should I go for it?
Have you ever
Never had a shaved
it?
head. I've never had a shaved
It's
head.
really nice. Have you guys?
Never.
None of you guys?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Well, you were a terrible skinhead for a while.
It also
He had
wasn't
really
my
weird-
choice. My friends did the thing where they shaved my head.
But
Tattooed a dick on his
did you
face.
like it? Finally, did you get into it?
You know what? I
There's
will
some-
say I did like it. It's you feel so like clean,
Yeah,
smooth.
well, it's very,
Yeah.
at first it feels, like you're just your forehead, but up here, and then you get this shark feeling.
Yes.
It feels like your shark skin.
Yeah.
And you get a little velvet thing.
Oh, this is
And-
erotic.
it is.
A cat's
It is.
tongue, a
And
little
the
bit of a
way-
cat's
The way
tongue.
water hits on there and stays in there
But
when you take
also,
a shower.
the no fuss, no muss. I mean, I'm 6 hours every morning with my hair
There you
team.
go.
They're using curlers, they're injecting.
Oh, wow. This
various,
is after 6 hours?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it just, then I was in a terrible accident. My hair saved my life, but it shattered. I don't think I would shave my head because it's such a part of my identity that I've been pretty much reduced to I am a Woody Woodpecker cartoon, I'm not even a person anymore. I'm a cartoon character.
I was going to ask you, did you now I'm saying this is a silly question because I'm imagining, of course you did, but maybe I'm wrong. Did you put product in your hair and work that?
Yeah.
That thing?
Jesus, look at that. Zeus.
I know.
Zeus is in the house.
Look at that volume.
How do you have no idea.
Did you work it? What was your product?
Okay, I'll tell you exactly what it was.
Yeah.
I got into rockabilly. That was my first love, rockabilly music. And I would play the old, Burnett Brothers, and I grew the sideburns. And I realized my hair would do that. So I first
you must have
piled it up. And I used this stuff that a friend of mine turned me on to. He's like, use 10X. And there was this stuff they made called 10X. And you'd put it in your hair and then you could comb it up.
Yeah.
And I was doing this in the 80s. Not a lot of other people were doing it. And then I get a job on The Simpsons. I remember I'm at The Simpsons and I'm a writer, producer, and I have these sideburns, Eisenhower jacket with the collar flipped up. Hair. And I'd walk in, the writers would be like, what are you doing? This isn't a production of Grease. Writing The Simpsons. I'm like, hey man, leave me alone. But I don't know what it was. I was, that's what I wanted to do. And so my first big magazine cover was Rolling Stone, and they put me on the cover of Rolling Stone. And this guy had this idea, which is, he took my hair and then he added these extensions and we blew it way out. And it's one of my favorite. I've seen it it's in an airport somewhere where they just put Rolling Stone covers up, but mine was one of them. And the hair, it's like 50 pounds of hair in a giant wave on my head. And it looks absolutely insane. But I was like, in my mind, even though that's a joke, that's what I really wanted it to be. And still do,
Well, and you must do that.
I do it sometimes, and my wife is like, "Can't we go?"
Yeah.
Like, not yet. I need more mayonnaise for my quaff.
How about a duck tail?
Never did the ducktail.
You never did it.
No.
That's kind of classic rockabilly.
I know. I didn't do the ducktail.
Yeah.
But I just got lost in all that craziness. I don't know. It comes down to this for me. I think there's a lot we do that's compulsion that I can't even, when people tell their story, they act like they made choices and they forged who they are. And more, I think, I don't know.
Yeah.
My life is a bunch of synaptic misfires. And now here I am. I'm the hair, the choice of so many things.
That's
has
very
just been-
dudist.
No, but it is.
I mean
do.
it. I mean it, yeah.
I say
It's good.
misfires,
No, I like
meaning
it.
I have I don't know. It sounds absurd for me to say I made any of this happen. I didn't make any of this happen. I'm here talking to you, and I don't know. You're one of my all-time favorite actors, people, and you're here talking to me. I didn't make this happen. This just happened, and I couldn't be happier.
There's this guy Sapolsky,
Mm-hmm.
who's saying there's no such thing as willpower. That's you're not in control at all from the very, the circumstances that you come out of. I don't know. I kind of feel mixed about that.
You feel? Yeah, I do.
Huh?
Because it maybe lets us off the hook too much.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Because then anyone could say, "Yeah, I just murdered 8 people and left their bodies by the roadside," but that's just what I did.
Yeah,
You're like, no.
Well, and he's big on the crime. All those people in jail who we say you're bad. He's saying it's the circumstances.
Yeah, a lot of times that's
from the
true.
very, very beginning of all how it turns out.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of. Don't you feel life is so paradoxical? There's not one way, one thing. I think it's kind of both. Maybe it's only willpower. I don't know.
Koans, man.
Koans. It's koans. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And there are 2 koans.
Yeah,
the
that's
Coen
the
brothers.
sound of one
Right,
Coen
the
brother
Coen
clapping.
Yeah. That means one Coen brother's really pissed about something. It doesn't like the edit. Well, I want to make sure people check out the 2nd season of The Old Man. It's so easy to binge the 1st season. And I'm just a lifelong fan. And not just of your work, but you're an authentically nice and feeling person, and it's an honor to know you. It really
Feel
is.
that same way.
Yeah. Well, I'm a good actor.
There you go.
Thanks a lot, Joe.
Beautiful. Okay.
As terrific a career as you've had as an actor, music haunts you. You grew up playing music, and you really were seriously considering, am I going to go into acting, or am I going to be a musician? Like there's a fork in the road. And I feel like it's something you're still wrestling with.
That's fine. Kind of dancing with it, man. I don't know. I think maybe it's kicked my ass, basically. I think at this moment, I don't know if I'll get back into it as strongly as I did after Crazy Heart. Right around when I did your show.
You came on my show to do Crazy Heart, which was this phenomenal movie, phenomenal performance.
And at 60, whatever I was, 62, whatever, I finally had my Beatle moment. Because there's nothing like playing in a band. You're a musician. And
I
it's
love
just
that.
like it's so great to do that. My buddy T-Bone, when we did Crazy Heart together, he did all the most of the music for it. And after the Crazy Heart, I got my music. I was tickled. I said, "Well, I got some more tunes to do, Bone." And he said, "Sure." And so we did an album, and then I get a band. He said, "Well, I'm going to get the band together," and all these friends I got in Santa Barbara, and I had that. I'm being triggering myself here. I had my Beatle moment with my band at a Lebowski Fest.
Yes!
Oh, man.
So it all came together.
Oh, and you're playing to a sea of dudes. Oh, man. Woo.
No, but what's so nice is, I don't know about you, my experience has been, I've had, and Sona, you were along for the 2010 experience where I went on this tour and there was a lot of music and crazy crowds, and we did comedy, but I got to have my moments of soloing in front of a sold out, like multiple tier. And it was just, it was a crazy experience.
Yeah.
And what would happen is I'd start to think to myself, hey, I think I could do, this is what I could do. This is what I could do. And you know what always resets it? I'm around a Jimmy Vivino or a Jack White or any of these guys who really does it. And I go, oh, like, oh, I see. Oh, and it's, I'm constantly being humbled by people that I love it. It's fun. I like to do it for fun. But if this was something I was meant to be doing, I'd have been doing it when I was 7 years old. And that's that's comedy for me. So that decision was made. I didn't have to make it,
Yeah. Well, now when you say wrestle or struggle, that's a really, this thing about comparison and everything. Mm-hmm. When we had all this downtime with the strikes and COVID and all that stuff, there different guys did different things during that time. You must have seen Inside, right? That guy Bo Burnham.
Oh yeah, well, fantastic.
Weren't you impressed, man?
Bo is phenomenal.
Oh,
phenomenal
God.
talent.
That movie in the eighth grade. He's phenomenal talent. So I had a bunch of time, and you're a creative person. You said, "What am I going to do?" So I decided I'll go back in my mind, my music mind, and discover old tunes and things that I'm what am I, 74? I say, to perfect all that stuff going to a music, that's a lot of effort. There's a lot of things I like, slowing down, not doing as much as I might have when I was younger. I said, I've got all these things. I'll just play with them. And I started going on the internet and finding things to juxtapose these tunes, and then I would take my little iPhone out and I'd do things and juxtapose this. I had fun. And I said, okay, work with this other guy who knows how to make websites. Yeah, why not release this? I mean, why not? I'm just sharing, man. This is my offer. This is what I got, and listen to it. There's so much shit out now, isn't there, man? Yeah. I mean, there's so much going on. Yeah. So I said, well, why not put your shit out there? So I decided to release this thing called Emergent Behavior, volumes 1 through 5, so that's what I've done kind of musically, and that's where I'm at. And I don't know, I feel kind of spent. I don't know if I'll do volume 6 or what, but it was interesting, what you were talking about, comparing yourself to the Beatles or these guys, And wow, that really gets in our way, man.
Well, comparison,
because ultimately, isn't the spot that you want to get into where it's doing you? You're not even doing it, with what you do. I'm sure you get into that place all the time.
Oh yeah,
and just not take it too damn seriously, man, and let the thing come through what it wants to do. Don't be so ego tripping, like just
right. They what is it? There's a famous quote that I'm not coming up with right now, but it's like comparison is the death.
Is the thief of joy.
Is the thief of joy. Thank you. Oh, I thought it was Aaron Blair was the thief of joy.
Oh,
but,
that's, and then it goes on further from there, and also Aaron Blair.
No, but thank you, Aaron. That was, I don't want, I punish a guy for having the right answer.
I know.
It's so, welcome to Stalin's holiday camp.
But on the other side of that practice, man, like you say, that's what I regret, not woodshedding. I've got some friends that did it, when they were 12, and now they're just so facile. They can play whatever they want.
It's humbling. But, I think the bigger point is comparison gets you nowhere. And trust me, I'm sure there are many actors that have hurt themselves by comparing themselves to you, like your career, what you've accomplished. They've hurt themselves. Unnecessarily. Do you know what I mean? It's just, you can't get into that game.
I just been hanging out with a guitarist. Do you know Blake Mills?
I know the name.
Oh, man, you got to check him out. Here's another, we're talking music. Wolfpack, do you know them?
No.
Oh, you know that? And the Fearless Flyers. Blake has a great version of Signed, Sealed, and Delivered that he plays with the Fearless Flyers. It's really
amazing.
remarkable.
I just always find people will ask me who are your favorite groups, and I'll say it's not even about a group for me. They're just certain songs, that I hear it, I have to learn how to play it, and I can't stop playing it. And sometimes it's by a very obscure musician. Yeah. I don't really know if they've gone on, what else they've gone on to, but it just grabs me by the throat, and then I have to do it. I just have to learn it, play it, until everyone around me is so tired of it that I'm asked to live in the yard. And then I'm...
You must have seen Standing in the Shadow of Motown, didn't you?
Yeah.
Wasn't that a great movie, man?
Also, you narrated, I believe.
I narrated.
You narrated
History of Rock and Roll.
But you also narrated. Didn't you narrate the Creedence Clearwater Revival documentary? Because that was great. And I remember thinking,
they were great.
The minute, I love them, but then the minute you were narrating it, I thought, oh, this is the right guide to take me through CCR.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to play with him, got on stage and played at
Fogerty?
what's the motorcycle, Sturgis.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You played with John Fogerty.
Yeah, man.
Do you remember what you
singing? No, we sang. I sang. I got to sing. I left the guitar work to John.
You know what's becoming clear to me? You were not acting in The Big Lebowski. Everything I see, you're like, yeah, man.
That's where you.
Now you should just get like a White Russian and just start drinking it and going, a lot of angles,
You let the dude do you.
Yeah, exactly. The dude did you and then never left, and then never left.
Hi, my name is JB Smooth. Hello. And I feel frustrated about being Conan O'Brien's friend.
Why would you be frustrated?
Or over it. I feel over it. That's not a good word.
Yeah.
I feel over
Okay,
this.
no, I'll go with frustrated.
Yeah,
Why,
no,
wait a minute. Why did you go from frustrated to over it?
Here's what it is. We've been through this before, man. I tried to help you before, but you refused to take the help. See, here's the language that's wrong.
Okay.
See, here's the language. Conan, Conan needs a friend.
Did you have to just check the sign?
I just want to make sure.
To see what my name is?
No, not you.
I've known you for like
I want to make sure
years.
I tell you. No, make sure I tell you what the word in here that needs to go away. Conan needs a friend, right?
What's the wrong word? What's the bad word?
It's need.
Yeah,
You're too needy, man.
Well, we've been through this. We talked about it at the top of the show. I focus on the one gentleman who doesn't want to listen to the podcast, and that's all I can think. And yes, I'm too... JB.
So, see, here's the thing. You're trying to find a friend. Yeah. This is the wrong way to do it, man. You're trying to find a friend. Conan, sometimes, you got to take a friend. See, here's what you do.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Take a damn friend. Robert,
that's taking a very creepy turn.
No, you too busy trying to find a friend. You need.
You like that, son? Is that a good Conan impression?
Yeah, it is. It's perfect. It's spot on. That's a good one.
You know what I'm saying?
I need a friend.
Okay,
I'm
thank
Conan.
You need a friend.
Be my friend.
Maybe Gourley, you'd like to try one.
I need a friend.
Oh, help me. Be my friend.
This is eerie to see. I'm looking at three me's right now, and I can't decide which one I am. So you think it's too needy?
Needy. It's too needy. It's too needy. You are too busy trying to find a friend when you should be taking a friend. When you see.
Again, that's a very. It sounds like it involves duct tape and chloroform.
Look, when you see a group of people having a great time, they all laughing and joking around, they having a ball. You go over there and take the one you want. Here's what it's like. You watch those old movies and they be in those ball dresses and they're dancing in the middle of a floor. There's a big ball. And people the ladies have a long ass dress on. Everybody keeps stepping on that shit. A long ass dress.
Yes, we all know what a ball is.
The dude got his fucking back.
JB, we know what a ball is.
The dude got his back all taut and shit. His back is taut like this. His fucking nose in the fucking air. He's dancing and shit. And then some dude comes out of nowhere and taps him on the fucking shoulder.
Yeah.
May I cut in? You gotta cut the fuck in on somebody. You gotta cut in and say, you mind if I borrow your friend for a little while? And you proceed to dance with that motherfucker. Yeah.
Okay.
Not literally.
No, I know that this is
in your mind.
This is a metaphor. I understand.
Of course it is.
You want me to metaphorically tap on someone's shoulder and say, "May I cut in?"
No.
And then dance with that motherfucker.
See,
that's what you're saying.
Not listening. No, you physically touch that motherfucker. You tap his fucking shoulder.
Oh, you want me to
with
tap?
Your fucking middle finger, like, You mind if I cut the fuck in? And you proceed to take him. You take his ass.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
In your mind, you're conversing with him, but in your mind, you fucking dancing.
Yeah.
You're fucking dancing. Your fucking head is up. You're long and lean.
Yeah.
Your back can be taut like this, and you fucking hold your head up proudly.
Yeah.
And you hold a conversation with this motherfucker and find out if he fits into your fucking square and he's a fucking circle. You gotta find out if it's gonna work.
Okay.
You take that friend.
Okay.
You lie. You tell him things that you don't have. You everything. you take that friend. You steal that friend away. See, now you're in control.
Yeah.
You're in control of the friendship. Therefore, you are no longer needy.
Yeah, okay. Let's take it
That's what
easy
I'm
on
saying.
those, yeah. I hear what you're saying. I should be a little more, I think, have a little self-esteem, maybe have a little confidence. And it shouldn't be Conan O'Brien needs a friend. Conan O'Brien takes a friend.
Takes a friend.
Yeah.
It changes the whole dynamic.
What do you think, Sona?
It
Do you like this
changes you.
idea?
I do think the wording is a little problematic. The taking part, I'm still confused about. I know you tap someone on the shoulder and then you just become their friend, but I think that I'm a little confused about
And maybe a
the
little bit.
word take.
Yeah, a little frightened, too.
It's a little...
Yeah. Remember there was a Friday the 13th movie, Jason Takes Manhattan? It kind of feels like that.
Well, no one remembers that movie.
I know, one of all the...
Nobody knows that fucking movie.
Only
Your fans from Pasadena is thinking of
watch that kind of shit.
Wow. Yeah. No, I don't remember that, but I understand what you said. It can be, in this era, you want to make sure that there's, that the other person's interested in being my friend. That's all.
No. I'm not saying.
No.
I'm not saying put that person in a chokehold. I'm saying use your charisma. All the shit that's cool about you.
Yeah.
Hey, you see them up there fucking giggling and laughing their ass off. You saying to yourself, I would love to be in that circle of friends. I bet they have a good time all the fucking time. Look at them. They got history. They loving each other. Look at that. I mean, you just nuzzle your ass up in there. You nuzzle.
Nuzzle.
Are you a good nuzzler?
You know what? I got to use my face and sort of just like a wedge and wedge in there.
Nuzzle in there. Nuzzle in there.
Role play this where the three of us are having a conversation and you could try it out.
Oh my God, I would love to try that.
All right, let's try it. You guys are having a good time, and I'm over
And
here.
so we're cool. We're a cool group of people.
Yeah,
What
okay.
history we have.
Oh
my God.
Oh, make sure you get there on your mic there.
I couldn't believe it, and it's like it just never stops with that guy. He's so amazing. And
Hey guys, hey, guys.
Not right now. Not right now.
I need a friend.
who is this
I
idiot?
need some.
Who is this
Not a
guy?
good time.
Hello. Hey, I'm tapping you, mofo.
Oh well.
I'm tapping you.
Who's this?
I'm gonna tap that right now.
What?
Wait, hold on. No,
What?
forget that.
No, that's wrong. That's
What
wrong. That's wrong.
happened?
That's dead wrong. That's
Okay,
wrong.
that was wrong. I took the tapping and
Security.
then it just went to
That's where it goes
You just
sideways.
maced me, JB.
Shit went awry. Shit went awry.
went
just
awry
now.
fast. You're right. I came in too strong. JB Smoove, welcome.
Love a nice vest.
He just removed Matt Gourley's sweater
I
vest.
don't know where you're gonna run into a good V-neck.
Um,
Wow. And when you find time and get me the fucking sleeves, you get those sleeves to me. You know what I mean?
No, let me understand something, JB. First of all, you can't just point to someone's clothes and demand that you have them, or can you at this point in your career?
Of course you can.
Okay.
Fashion is an amazing thing, and you know what? They have something called the bow tie exchange program. You know what that is? If I'm walking down the street and I see another bow tie guy and I got my bow tie on and his bow tie matched my outfit better than the damn bow tie I got on, I take his bow tie.
Is this a real thing?
He has to give it to me. He'll say, wow, my bow tie will match your outfit perfectly. And my bow tie will match yours. And we proceed to exchange goddamn bow ties.
Yes.
Wait,
the
so
bow tie
where's my
exchange
sweater
program.
vest then?
Yeah. You have to give him something now, don't you?
No, I don't gotta give him shit. You know why? See,
keep it.
But you have to have a sense of style. He is doing this damn vest dirty right now. He got on some jeans
Yeah.
and sneakers that don't even match the fucking vest.
Yeah, I know.
The sneakers don't match.
Wait, you don't understand. If I do anything more than that, he berates me for looking like a tweed
You're
Victorian.
a grown ass
lad.
man. There's no reason why a grown ass man shouldn't look. And you know what? You need to hang out with me. When I walk in it's not all about your clothing. It's about you. It's you behind the clothing. When I walk into my closet, know what I hear when I walk into my closet? Me. Everybody wants to wear me. They want to wear me. My outfits want to wear me. They want to be around me all damn day.
Those are your outfits talking to you in a high-pitched voice.
My clothes want to be around me. Sometimes I gotta get in the dryer with my clothes on. You hear me? me.
So wait a minute. Okay, so
Everybody want me to wear them. You know what I mean?
I have to say-
Turtleneck. Shut up. It's 95 degrees outside. Not right now. Sit your ass the fuck down, turtleneck. And shut up.
You came into the room 20 minutes ago. I showed up, and then you walk into the room, and I thought, how am I going to get on stage with this man? You are the best dressed man in show business.
Yes,
you really
man,
are.
you know.
This man is always impeccably dressed. You have a lean silhouette. You are in fine shape. Your shoes are fantastic.
Impeccable.
Yeah. You're supposed to act a little shy, you know? You're not supposed to say, yes, impeccable. Look at the heels on those shoes. Those have diamonds on them.
These are... See, I always tell everybody out there, you know, I give good advice sometimes, and sometimes I give fucked up advice. Well, I'll tell you one thing. You can't go wrong with a pair of great shoes. You can match those shoes up with anything, and they last forever if you take care of them. You know how many times I changed the sole on these shoes?
Is that a rhetorical question?
4 times, man. 4 times.
Wait, I've never replaced soles on a pair of shoes.
If you take care of the leather and you condition it constantly, you can replace the sole on a great shoe, especially a Louis Vuitton. A Louis Vuitton, they will replace every goddamn thing.
Okay, but wait a minute. What kind of way is that to spend a life?
That's how they do it.
I feel like now you go home and you have to go. There are things you want to do. You want to spend time with your wife. You want to do something fun, have a nice glass of wine. But no, you have to go and start rubbing conditioner into your shoes. That's something I don't have to worry about.
Here's what fashion does. Sometimes fashion makes an appearance and it goes away. You can't find these shoes nowhere. You can search the internet far and wide. You will not find these goddamn shoes. You better off catching the dude wearing these, sleeping on the train, and take them fucking shoes off his goddamn feet.
I don't think that's right. I think that's called stealing.
So, gentlemen, I admire what you're doing because you, Miles, for putting up with JB, and JB, you for offering this unique power that you have to mesmerize people, slow them down. And you're doing it to me right now. I'm speaking.
Oh, yeah, you better
more
slow down.
slowly.
Yeah, see, you're more
And
calm.
I'm ready to accept.
What I'm going to give you. Let me look. Matter of fact, just don't even worry about the door. Leave the window wide open. Just leave it open. Leave the window open. Okay, just leave it open.
Cold out.
I know.
What if
I know.
it's cold?
I know it's chilly. I know it's chilly. See. Now you're thinking about the cold and not thinking about accepting what I'm giving you.
Okay. So don't worry about metaphorically. Leave the window open.
Hey, look. Just leave the window open. Okay. And if you were really doing me a favor, just like those old TV shows, you would have a nice pie sitting on that windowsill to cool off. You understand?
You want a cooling pie on the window.
That's what they do. Back in the days. They bake a pie, a plum pie, peach pie, and they put it on the windowsill.
You don't have to specify which kind of pie.
Off. No, because I'm saying it because I got to activate your senses, every sense you have. One, your sight, your sense of smell.
Okay, this is good.
In cartoons, when they put a pie on that windowsill, that smell of the pie floats through the room.
Yes.
Have you ever seen that in cartoons? It floats, it travels through the rooms, and it goes under your nostrils, and you levitate, and you float your ass to the pie. I seen Elmer Fudd do that one time.
Okay,
levitated.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Floated to the pie.
Here's what you've done. I've left the window of my psyche open.
There you go.
JB Smoove, and as he requested, I left the window open, regardless of the temperature outside, and I left a cooling peach pie. It's peach, and it's got a little rhubarb in there too.
Oh, I love rhubarb. That's not a lot. That's a little bit.
Just a little bit, not too much.
Yep.
It's I want to say 80% peach.
The details. See, that's what the details get me.
Yeah.
Keep going.
A little bit of cinnamon in there too. A little bit of cinnamon there with the sugar, and it's cooling. It's hot. It's just out of the oven. It's hot, and what's happening is you are floating.
No.
That scent.
No. You're floating. I'm not floating. You're floating.
Are you the pie?
You gotta let me take.
It's happening.
Who's the pie?
I haven't.
Am I the pie?
I haven't seen the pie yet. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, I see. The pie is just there getting me.
Cool
Miles,
off. Is it
you
cool
got to
off?
help me out. This man is so wise that I don't always understand.
The pie is the knowledge that's going to be dropped, and
He don't get it, Miles. He don't get it.
Okay, I want to get it. I want to get it. I'm tired of being so uptight and so trapped in my own mind and my own. I don't know.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
So, okay. I've put out the pie. The pie is the knowledge. I'm ready to accept the knowledge. The scent of the pie has gone underneath my nostril, and now I'm floating like a cartoon animal floats along a scent towards the pie. And I'm undulating through the air. I smell that delicious peach, that cinnamon, rhubarb.
Now your senses are wide open right now.
Yes.
They're wide open right now. Now you're willing to accept what Miles and I, what we truly do to channel and to break through all your barriers. You have barriers up right now. And it's up to Miles and I to start chipping away at that bullshit. See? If I may be blunt.
it's also my job to tell people legally do not leave your windows open. Like I just follow behind and clarify what's metaphoric. And
yes, that it's a metaphoric window. We do not, Miles is here to tell you, and this is very smart, Miles, and very smart of you, JB, to have Miles here. JB cannot be concerned with small concerns like public safety and crime and theft. He can't worry about that. He's living on a higher astral plane. Miles is here to say it's a psychic window. And the pie is knowledge. Please don't leave your real window open with a real cooling pie, because that's how most murders.
Don't put your pies outside anyway. It's just going to attract wildlife, and it's just not a good decision at all.
Everything I said today, you have to take it. You have to take it. You have to absorb it, and you have to use it. But keep it in your thoughts, in your movement. And don't outwardly do these things, but inwardly use these things. Is that correct? That's all right?
Yeah.
Don't outwardly. Right. Don't outwardly
do the things that you
don't do that shit.
Yeah.
Don't do that shit.
Oh,
it's the essence of it that you want to
But
use.
I do want you to do this. I do want you to go home. When you go home, I do want you to open the back of your toilet.
And look into that tank.
And just look into that motherfucker for a little while.
Okay.
And the water's gonna be moving a little bit. Then you're gonna see yourself. You're gonna see your reflection in that fucking water.
Such a stream of bullshit.
And you'll see the water just moving.
So I'm gonna see my reflection in the toilet tank.
Fuck yeah, you will. You'll see
course.
your reflection in that water. It's like all those movies where you see someone like they'll be at a lake and they'll just be looking in the water and then just touch the water and the water just bead a little bit.
Yeah.
It's very tranquil.
Yeah.
But you look into that motherfucker. Or better yet, this is an even better idea. You take a shit backwards.
Oh, for God's sake.
And you're on the toilet seat like this backwards, looking into the back of that tank.
My God.
I'm sorry. No.
And then when you feel like you have released all your troubles, you flush that bitch.
That's the craziest form of therapy I've ever heard of in my life.
Oh my God.
And now you can decide if your glass or your toilet bowl is half empty or half full.
Okay,
It's going to start to build water back up again, and you watch that water come up.
Okay.
See?
Yeah.
Come up.
Yeah. Have you tried this? Have you tried going to the bathroom in this manner, where you're turned around, sort of?
Everything I tell you, I fucking tried. Do you hear me? Yeah.
You've cowgirled the toilet.
I wouldn't put you in danger like that. You have to look when you reverse cowboy that motherfucking toilet seat, and you look into that bowl, you are emptying all the issues you have into that toilet. But at the same time, you are watching this water flush it away. See, it keeps you from looking at your own shit to make sure it went down. You hit that bag, you watch that clean water go out. Oh, that's you cleansing yourself. That's you cleansing yourself. When you see that water go down into that little hole, that little stopper comes up, a little pulley, a little chain, a little floaty, all that shit.
How much time have you spent looking into a toilet in your life, JB? How much time have you spent? You know a lot. You really...
Look, man, here's another thing.
Oh, there's another thing.
I'm not just trying to help you, right? There's people out there who need this shit too.
No one needs to hear any of this. There's nobody that's being helped, especially by this last one. There's nobody who's going to be helped by this reverse toilet concept. It's just I have given you leeway on every idea. I think you've actually hit some good areas. I think this last one, no. I'm putting my foot down on this last idea. I think with your reverse toilet tank, you've lost me. You've completely lost me.
I'm telling you, it works. You have to see. You're thinking too much about the toilet, the traditional.
It's a major player.
No, you're
in
thinking
story.
too much about the
JB,
traditional.
It's a major player.
You're thinking about the traditional use of a toilet. That is not a toilet no more. That is a body of water.
Better be.
It's two bodies of water. One is taking
a functioning toilet.
No, it's two
we have a major
bodies of water here. One is eliminating all your wasting, all the bullshit you've been through your whole life, and one is going out there to make it happen, but it's also refilling with new energy, new life, new thoughts, new people in your life. When that water comes back in, that's new energy coming in your life.
Okay.
Metaphorically speaking.
Yes. Oh, yes. Don't do any of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Do you want people to do this last one?
I told you earlier, you think about this. You don't physically do it.
Good.
You got to be there. Your soul got to be there, though.
Yeah.
Your soul got to be sitting on that toilet.
Okay.
And you got to see it.
Oh, well, okay.
You got to see yourself sitting there when you're sitting still. If you're sitting down right now, you're sitting down in a sitting down position.
Yeah.
You could easily do this right here.
Yeah, okay, well, no, I'm not going to do that.
And your mind will be on that toilet backwards.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to help you.
When I first heard that you were doing The Little Mermaid and I heard King Triton, I was thinking, okay, I'm trying to, and this is live action, this is not animated. And then I saw a picture of you as King Triton, and it's this man is born to play King Triton. You have, I've always thought you have a regal face. You really do. You look.
Thank you, sir.
Doesn't he?
Absolutely.
You have the face that I could see.
Of course, you have to say yes. If he's asked that question, you go no.
No, they often.
That would be great.
No. It is my inclination to gainsay and neglect whatever he says.
He actually does disagree with me most of the time.
Okay.
But you have to see. You have to see photos of him as you should even call it
I'm
up on your show.
shocked I haven't yet.
It's you are so regal, and I look at that photo and I think no one else could play King Triton in live action. It's fantastic.
I'm so happy that happened, and also I texted Rob Marshall, which I wanted to work with since many years ago, and I said, if there is such a thing as a King Triton with an accent, will you consider?
Look at that.
Will you consider me to play it? And he said, I swear to God, I'm in the grocery shop talking to John about you, and I was going to call you in 5 minutes.
Oh my God. Okay.
That happened. I said, really? So I said that to my then 7-year-old girl. Luna is her name. I'm going to be in The Little Mermaid. And she went, are you going to play Ariel? No. No.
You start looking for your Anton Chigurh wig. I could dye it red. Eduardo!
Now I want to see you as Ariel, though. Oh, my God.
He's that good an actor. He can do anything.
I know.
But I said, no, I'm going to play the father. And she was crying. Oh, I'm so happy. So I was like, Rob, you can't imagine how happy you made me and my daughter by this offer. So and they are watching the movie in Spain in the premiere, and I can't wait for them to see it.
You know, it's fascinating because this is a classic. Little Mermaid is, they're going to be thrilled. I had the experience of 10 years ago when my kids were much younger, they would have a show that they loved. And then I would get contacted by that show coincidentally, and they would say, do you want to play this small part in an episode? And I'd say, yeah, I'll do that. Sure. And I'd tell the kids and they'd be, yay. So I'd go and I'd record it and do my small part. And everyone would say that was great. And then it's animation. It takes a while. And then 2 years later, I'd say, hey, guys, it's coming out. I'm in that show. And they'd be like, we don't watch that anymore.
Absolutely.
And that's happened to me, I think, 3 times where I'm trying to time what my kids think is cool. And by the time I do it, they're like, no, that's over. But this will not happen to you.
No, but absolutely. Like my child, Leo, is 12 now.
Mm-hmm.
When I because we start to shoot this movie in January 2020, but then we have to stop because of the pandemic. He was 10. And he was excited. Now he pretends, no, that's for Luna. I'll bring only 45 friends to the screening, but that's not my kind of movie. So, yeah, right. But 3 years ago, he was like, yeah. But now he will love it. That's why I do Dune as well for him. I do Dune for him. I do Mermaid for her. And some things, and I get the paycheck for both.
Which is good too, because they have to go to college.
It helps.
The Dune movies are so visually stunning.
Yeah.
I mean, just
crazy.
Mind-blowing. And even though when I was first watching it, the first Dune that came out a few years ago, I didn't understand the significance of every single moment, but as a whole, it was so beautiful and powerful. Yeah. It just looks different. You know, we're flooded with so many intergalactic movies.
Yeah.
And then there's so much artistry.
Absolutely.
in the Dune films.
I think Denis really has created something unique in the sense that he really created a universe. I mean, everybody that works in those movies are at the top of their game. The wardrobe, the lighting, everything, the designs, everything. So the first one was amazing, but I think the second one, I haven't seen it, but I was there. I think the second one is gonna be really something out of proportion in the sense that the sets that I saw, the sets that they built, they were huge, and they were filled with so much art inside. And the lighting and the wardrobe, everything is really magical. I saw the trailer, and I called Denis like, man, what is this? I'm in it, and I can't believe I'm in it because it's one of those movies that you feel like an actor. Oh, I wish I could be in one of those. Well, I'm in it. So it's and he's adorable. He's a great. Have you ever interviewed Denis Villeneuve? No,
I have not.
He's great.
No.
He's great.
Rumored for the next Bond film too, which I
really?
think would be amazing. Yeah.
Oh, really? I don't know. He will do it for sure, amazingly well.
For this movie, how does it work? Are they using wires? Are you in a harness? How does it work when you're doing a live action Little Mermaid? I have no idea.
It's all in the studio, and they put us in these rigs and called fork, whatever. I don't know. It's some stuff that the Olympic athletes use, to try to train to make leaps on the air.
Oh yeah, flips
on the air. And what they do is they put you in a harness, and there's a long arm, and then you can go vertical, you can go horizontal, you can go like this because they move it, and it takes like 6 to 10 people around the machine to move it around. So it's a choreography. You have to talk to the director. Will say, I want him here and then there, and then here goes up, here goes down, and you have to do your fishy moves, like with the shoulders, to make believe that you are a fish. And
please tell me they call them fishy moves.
That's how I called it.
I know. It was perfect. I just wish that was actually in the dialect they used. Yes.
And I don't know how they do it. I saw the movie and still don't believe how good it looks.
You know what's interesting is the amount of trust you have to have. You know, we're having this moment here. You're there. I see you. We're a couple of inches apart, and this is it. And this is a situation where you're getting all this makeup, and then you're being put in the Fishy Move 4000 machine and spun around, and it's total trust that someone's going to take care of this, and then it's going to look awesome.
Absolutely. And the only thing you have to do is to try to learn the lines, say the lines, and forget about the whole noise around you because it's huge. And try to be honest and try to go back to what it means to perform and be able to be relaxing within all of these things around you. because I just said it's a big leap of faith. And then with that, somebody else will do something else. And when I watch the movie again, yes, of course, there's a lot of CGI, but it's so beautifully done. It's so realistically done. And at the same time, it has so much magic that I'm not pulled off by it. I go like, wow, I believe that they're under the water. It's something else. It's something else.
But I mean, it's been true since The Wizard of Oz. You can have all that stuff, but you look at the quality of the acting in The Wizard of Oz, and that's what makes you, sucks you in every time. Now, they had the most sophisticated sets. They had, color for the first time. They had everything they needed, and same thing with, I think to a degree with even Gone with the Wind it's Clark Gable, Vivian Leigh. It's like the actors have to make it happen eventually.
Exactly. Yeah.
They can get this assist, but it's got to be, as you said, I've always thought that this business I've always thought about my profession was I need to learn. All I've done is tried to learn how to be natural in a completely unnatural situation.
Absolutely.
Which was for years, it was lights, a band. Ladies and gentlemen, Javier Bardem. You come out, I've never met you. We've just done a sketch where a bear masturbated, and then you come and sit down and we're supposed to have a real conversation, but there's an audience there. And I always realized, it's just learning to make that honest in a completely ridiculous situation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's hard. And also do it over and over and over again. So it's not, as Marlon Brando said, everybody's a performer because we all act in our lives in order to survive. But the professionals have to repeat it constantly, and that's true.
And also do it on command.
Command.
And
exactly.
go.
Go.
Action.
Yes.
And then you have to
Exactly.
have that scene.
Exactly.
Anton Chigurh has to walk into that gas station and have that scene, even though you're not ready, you don't feel like. But that's also just the training.
Absolutely.
The years and years of training.
Yeah, the training, and also there's a moment where you have to let go. And embrace the fear and say, okay, I can't control anything anymore, and it's all about getting lost in what you're doing and try to find meaning or sense in the journey while you're doing it, rather than going with everything marked and knowing where you're heading and what's the goal. No, you just go there. You work hard in order to understand the whole picture. Now you jump into the abyss and see if it makes sense. But again, it's movies, so somebody will make sense of it. If you didn't make the sense, somebody will make it happen. In theater, it's different, of course. Theater, it's like, okay, you are so exposed that if you get lost, then people will notice.
Right. You actually see them get up and start to walk out.
Exactly. Exactly. Hi, my name is Javier Bardem, and I feel scared about being Conan O'Brien's friend.
You should be scared,
I know.
Javier. You should be scared. It is great. Maybe the greatest honor of your life. I'm sure I haven't done any research. I don't know if you've won any awards of any kind, major awards. I've heard talk of an Oscar, but who knows? Those things can't be verified. Yeah, who cares?
Who cares?
This is the true honor of your life.
No, listen. Everything has led me to come here today. I worked hard for years, for ages, to be in front of you, man, because I love you.
Yeah. You know what's great? This man, you would come on the late night show many times over the years. You came on several times, and you were always so funny because you just spoke from the heart. And it was so fantastic because you would look at me and you go, hey, man, your hair, you look like a fool. And the whole crowd would go crazy because they're like, yes, Javier, get him. He was like, what is this? What are you doing, man? What are you doing? It was fantastic. I would laugh so hard that on the way to the podcast studio today, thinking about seeing Javier again, I was laughing, thinking about it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
The only thing that I will ask for in any promotion is I want to go and see Conan O'Brien. And that's the only thing. That's
so
the must.
nice. That is so nice.
And here I am today. I'm so glad. I'm so honored.
Your dream has come true, and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I know this.
I hope it's really up there as I imagine.
Well, this is a problem now. I used to have this problem with women. They would imagine that, the word was out that I was a great lover.
Oh.
And then, of course,
when did that get out?
Yeah.
well, I kept putting it out there.
Okay, I figured.
And then, of course, there was always disappointment and crying.
Oh.
I was crying often. But you're here now. It is so great to have you here. And we have to get a few things out of the way because we have some major insane fans in the room. My friend here, Matt, and I'm going to bring this up right now, is obsessed with James Bond movies.
All right.
And I agree with him. He maintains, and I will back him up on this, we both believe that you may be, if not the best, one of the greatest.
I don't think there's even a question, frankly.
Best Bond villain.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Best Bond villain. And your performance in Skyfall was so freaking insanely good. And I had all this mixture of qualities where there were times where I felt sorry for you. You sucked me in, and then I felt sorry for you, but then I hated you, and it just kept swirling around. What about you, Matt?
Well, even just now when you said that everything led up to this moment is very much like what Silva says for James Bond.
James Bond.
And frankly, I almost fainted.
Yeah.
But because Conan is the most similar thing to James Bond. I mean, exactly. Right?
Yes. And that I'm very pale.
I'm going to open your shirt very soon and start caressing your bare chest.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I did that to Daniel Craig. Can you believe?
Yeah.
I am the man who was touching Daniel Craig's breast.
Yes.
Like this close.
He was the man that had you touch his breast. That's the way it goes. Yeah.
Yes.
I wish
Now,
I was there.
it's funny. You always wonder how planned out was a moment like that, because it's such, you haven't seen that happen with James Bond. And it's this move. It's this move that's crossing all kinds of lines. It's so shocking. And I think, is that the kind of thing that's discussed beforehand, or can you just go for it with Daniel Craig?
It was written, but till the moment we got on set and we started to put it on our feet, it was not, we didn't know how to achieve that moment. So we just, and Sam Mendes loved rehearsal, but he said, you know what, we're going to shoot it. Let's see how it goes. And Daniel is the best partner ever. He was having a blast. Like, he really wanted to go as far as we could, as far as the studio will let us go. And I think the chemistry was there because we liked being with each other and playing with each other. And but I think Sam Mendes was the heart of the heart and soul of the whole thing. He really wanted to create this profile of a villain that you can relate to, and it's more reliable than.
Also, I thought that your relationship with Judi Dench, as that's mom, and trying to relate to James Bond, that we all do this for, the Queen is mom and this is mom. And so there's that element to it also. And I thought it was it's the most emotionally complex relationship with a Bond villain, and showed you what these movies can do, what they can be. Because we grew, when I was a kid, I grew up and it was just, you must die, Mr. Bond, and petting the kitten, and it's a caricature. It's fun, but you never thought of these kinds of moments.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that little walk you do from your monologue intro, is it true that they built that set basically the length of your walk so you could time that out?
When I got there, the set was built, so that's not a lie. That's a lie.
Okay,
I have to walk.
I just want you to know I'm a huge liar.
Okay. That's why you are in this program, in this podcast.
Every day he says, Conan, I really admire you. You're so funny, and you're good looking too. Why aren't you in film? He says that all the time.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, it's true that I never rehearsed on the set, but once I was there and I saw how far Daniel Craig was sitting down on a chair, it's like, man, how am I going to do this? And I'm going to tell you, we did it like 7 times and he was not there. So Sam and I, we look at each other and we said, this is not, we haven't done it. So, and he said, you know what, let's play the scene. And at the end, if there's some time, we'll go back to it. We play most of the scene, most of my side of the scene. And then in the last 20 minutes, he said, are you ready? I think we can make one of those more. Yeah, let's do it. He put the camera and I did it. And that's the one it's in the movie. because my body was more relaxed.
Yes.
It was more at ease.
Yeah.
When the first thing in the morning to do that for me was a little bit of a shock.
Oh wow.
And it's funny because Daniel, the camera was on his shoulder, and he was like rooting for me because he was seeing me how I was coming to the end mark, and I was making it happen.
Yeah.
And he was like, yes, yes, yes.
And at times
You
you're
can
taking
see-
these little baby steps to make it time out, but it works for the character. This
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
almost a little boot scoot and boogie.
Yeah. Now you can see it sometimes if you look really closely, Daniel Craig starts to high five you.
He puts up a little finish line.
Yeah, and they had to cut around it, and it's that got a little awkward. And not to just totally fan geek out, but in addition to that movie, one of my I'm idolize the Coen brothers, and then I think my favorite of all their movies, if they said, okay, you get to pick one, I would say No Country for Old Men. And as great as that cast was, I know you came on the show to promote it, and had the nerve to show a clip of Anton Chigurh, and then minutes after showing that clip, turned to me and told me that my hair looked stupid. And I was like, wait a minute, you're an assassin who looks like Dorothy Hamill on skates, you know? But it was such an amazing moment for me because I still had the more ridiculous hair than Anton Chigurh.
Exactly.